I've got some videos out there if you care to hear about how it went overall, some talk about gear that you may or may not want to take with you when you go out there, and then kind of a day-by-day rundown. I'll tell you some of the coolest stuff about it for someone who was not on staff ever, getting access behind the scenes to see what's the conservation department cache where they keep all the tools look like. What are the, even riding in a truck, going out, driving on the roads, going into the back country to do work, staying in the dorms where some of the staff stay over the summer, which actually they stay year round. Oddly enough, the room that I stayed in for Philbreak, the prior season, which would be the fall season. So we were there in what they call the winter season, which is kind of winter into spring. The fall season, my daughter had actually lived in that room as a conservation staff person. So it was really neat to me to see behind the scenes and live in a dorm for a week where the staff lives, and eat in the dine-in hall with the staff and ride in their trucks, and then get out and do work on all sorts of projects that benefited Philmont but didn't require a tremendous amount of skill, which is good because that meant that I was able to participate. You can see I did find one of the big fill pots. I didn't want to put it down once I found it. I have a thing for the fill pots. No one knows. But anyhow, it was a really neat experience that is open for registration now. The email that I saw, I think it was this morning, indicated that about half of the slots are taken for the first week, and maybe for the second week as well. Second week filled up last year. I think they still had a slot or two for the first week. I have not ruled out signing up for it again this year, but at this point, I'm not sure that's going to fit in the schedule. So you can see some of the different places we went. Miners Park was in some of the pictures. This is Indian Writings, and some of the tools that we used. And we did get to do a little exploration, so we got to learn about Indian Writings while we were up there, and got our own tour of the villa and some of the work they were doing when we were out there. We did a lot of really cool things. I'd never seen the T-Rex track, so we got to go clean up the trail going to that and back. There's the Cons cache if you are curious where they keep all their tools. So lots of behind the scenes stuff if that's interesting to you. That is on it's on the PSA site, if I'm not mistaken, the Philmont Staff Association, if you'd like to be a part of Philbreak. And then the last day, participants got to say what they would like to do. And the group I was with, we went and hiked from Stockade. We went from Stockade up around Stockade Ridge, and then up to the Tooth, went up, summited the Tooth, and then came back down and hiked back into base camp like we were doing a trek. So really, really super cool event. Lots of cool people participating, lots of great access to the staff and behind the scenes. So if you listen to all that and you don't want to do Philbreak yet, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's no hope for it, because it was the coolest thing. It was extra cool for me because my daughter was in the cons department staffing Philbreak, so I got that special time. But even without that, like, she's not there right now, I'm still like, if I can fit it in the schedule, I'm going to try to go, because it was really, really cool. It was a neat experience. So, yeah, consider that if you haven't considered it already.
Do they still do an optional like ski day too, like at the end of it? Or
so the last day, they split our hiking group, so everyone there was not an organized ski day. I think your last day, you could go on one of the organized trips that they did. So we all started at Stockade and we hiked up, but at a certain point they split. And I honestly don't remember where the other group went. I knew I was part of the group that did the to the time hike. The other group, I don't remember where they went, but it was something similar. We all hiked the first half together and then split up. So it was all just hiking trails in the backcountry. If anyone didn't do that, and there were some people who didn't go on either one of those, then they were able to go wherever they wanted. You know, if they had transportation, if they wanted to go ski, they could. There was not an organized ski trip for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's what I know about Philbreak, and I debated, do I even want to talk about it? Because it was such a cool experience. Like I want to sell it. I want people to go because it was super cool. I really enjoyed, the participants were amazing, the staff was amazing, all the behind the scenes access was amazing. Getting to do work that, like, next time I'm at any of the places, you know, at Miners Park or Indian Writings or the T-Rex, or, you know, even just walking by the Cons Cache, like, I have some history with those things now because I wasn't on staff. So that's, you know, that's all really neat and exciting to me. And I hope some more people can experience that because it was a really cool experience. But I also hesitated to mention it because I haven't decided if I can actually sign up and do it yet. And if it works out that I can do it, I'd like for there still to be a slot available. So do it if you want to do something cool, but don't you all go sign up and take all the slots. Keep one for me in case I can fit it in come March. Okay. That's reasonable, right?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. We're going to go with that. All right.
Let's talk to Jim.
Let's do that.
Exactly.
All right. Tell us about your trek, what you did on staff, and then how that leaves you feeling about, you know, getting ready to go back with a crew you've never hiked with.
Yeah, it's going to be a little interesting for me because, like I say, I have not been involved with Boy Scouts in basically since 1980, just before I graduated from college. I was quasi scoutmaster for a troop for a couple of years because there was no adults available. But I took off in the military and in my scouting career. And I've been watching some of the stuff on Philmont. One of the things I'm curious about, there was the big fire a couple of years ago. How has Philmont recovered from that?
Yeah.
And what areas did that actually affect?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to say it's been slow. There was no hiking in that zone for several years after the fact. Now there is some hiking through there, and there are areas where, you know, for whatever reason, the fire missed. So there are islands where the reforestation is happening. They're actively doing reforestation. The erosion is not as bad as it was initially in the first several years, but there's still areas that are of significant concern. It's my understanding that the road through Gulch up to Sawmill Canyon is now complete again, so Philmont won't have to be making a longer trip to get supplies up into the Sawmill Cyphers area. That's a great thing.
Please subscribe and check out our Guitar Deals group on Facebook. The link's in the bio.